Welcome, guys, to a new episode of Dummy Football Podcast, joined by Pedro and Jordan. Jordan, how are you doing today?
Great. How about you, Pedro?
Good. How about you, Calvin
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
or Alex? Whatever you want to be called.
Right. So, the last games for the group stage completed today. We now have our 16 teams that are going to be competing for the knockout stages. Um, so yeah, let's get right into it so we can analyze the games that happen, and then we can give our predictions of what our bracket's gonna look for the knockout stages. So the first games for today were South Korea versus Portugal and Ghana Uruguay. Um, this Portugal team had played rotated as much of the other big teams that were pretty much secured for the number one spot and just rotated their squad. South Korea team that I think Jordan and Junior both alluded to it that these Asian teams know how to play collectively and play with a team and play with a certain style that they that they are accustomed to play to. And yeah, it was a it was a late winner from South Korea to get the last point. It was a corner against them, and they kind of on a counter attack. Um, Hyun Min Sun giving that through ball and getting the late goal for them. Um, Jordan, I'm gonna start with you. What you think about this game?
Well, you saw that Portugal, like you said, rotated their players, so they were really relaxed. So you knew that it was possible that they could get South Korea could get a win that they needed to get. So it was just up to Portugal to stop them from getting that, and I think Uruguay and Ghana were both hoping that Portugal didn't squad rotate. Because I think if Portugal didn't have their starters, I think they win that game. But South Korea took advantage of that, like the last World Cup against Germany. They took advantage of them, or like the team that when Mexico beat Germany and South Korea took advantage of that to get through. I think South Korea again gets through by a little margin, little margin. But they also have like a type of Cinderella story, but very great players. That large striker, I forget his name, but he's very large. I was like, this guy plays pretty good.
Yeah, the Junior. What were your thoughts about this Portugal Korea game?
Um, yeah, like Jordan said, I had the option to rotate. So, if there was like a full strength Portugal, I think they would have gone for the win. I think they kind of were trying to like just see how different players were gonna be. I mean, you always want to win, but I feel like they also didn't like pressure too much. You could see it in the way they were like going for the tackles and the way they were attacking, especially when you don't put in Leao to start and he came in as a sub. I feel like he's still kind of taking care of him in some way. I hope he starts him in the group stage or the round of 16. I think that speed that he has, it'll be fundamental for them to go past the, the opponent they face. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like you said, South Korea
They
really
play.
good.
Yeah, Portugal play in a type of like a diamond formation with their when they defend in a 4-4-2 type of formation, and the manager likes to play João Felix with Cristiano Ronaldo. But yeah, I feel like Leao could play that role next to Cristiano Ronaldo. But we'll see if he starts him for these knockout stages. See see if he changes it up.
Well, yeah, like you said, Joao Felix could play more of a midfield and he could be more loose in there. And then you have because he's been playing who Paulinho and Jamar or Ruben Neves.
No, he been playing Ruben Neves, William Carvalho, and um, and Bernardo Silva with Bruno Fernandez as like the number 10.
I feel like yeah, I feel like I don't know. Yeah, They like to be more offensive. So these coaches are trying to, especially when you're in knockout, you don't want to be too offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, and the game Ghana Uruguay, we talked about how Ghana were gonna get their revenge. Got a penalty in the first 15 minutes and missed it. Seemed like it was a story rewritten, but um, I want to get his name right. Arrasqueta, Arrascata, Arrasqueta. I got the two goals for Uruguay. Um,
Rascaeta.
Arrascaeta, there we go. Yeah, got the two
Fantastic
goals for
game.
got the two goals for Uruguay. Just wasn't able to do more than what they needed to get through. And you've seen it at the end of the game how much it meant to Luis Suarez. Um, I think we all know how emotional he is as a person and as a football player, and yeah, you just seen it on his face how much it meant for him. It seems like an end to an era for the Uruguay squad. Obviously they have a couple of up and coming players with Fede Valverde maybe being the standout with Darwin Nunez, Ronald Araujo in that defense. So we still got some key players in important positions, but for the Cavani, Suarez, Godin, um, Muslera type of players that their cycle ends. But yeah, Junior, what you think about this game?
Yeah, the same thoughts as you. Like this is the end of them. I think they still could have done a little bit better, and I think it comes down to how the game was refed. Because they could have got another goal. It was just, I think the game wasn't refed as well as they could have been. But Ghana had their chances as well. Not that they didn't. They could have turned even the game up. Just due to why missed some chances that they could have put them through, especially with Darwin Nunez. I don't know if he's um, what's that word? Trying to think of
Like like their main threat, their main goal scorer.
no, his confidence. I don't think he has confidence. He just looked like it's just like he. That was a great shot that he took on the header, and then the Tokyo keeper got it. But yeah, it seemed like he needed more confidence to try more. To try be more assertive with the ball. But other than that, I think that was a good Uruguay display. That's all they could give. That's what they had.
Yeah, Jordan, your thoughts?
You expect more from them. I feel like if they started off the tournament with this 2-0 win, I feel like this is a much different Uruguay get heading into the second games. But you guys are saying that we all expected Ghana to win. I called it. I said Uruguay were gonna beat them because revenge is hard to get in football, especially. And Ghana was served on a silver platter for them. They had a different goalkeeper this time. They didn't have Muslera, and he still blocked it. So you're seeing Ghana. I think Ghana they were focused more on that than the winning the actual game because they were like, oh, we got a penalty. They missed, and then they were like kind of out of it. They were like, oh. And then you saw that they were happy that Uruguay got out of the group. It's like you guys got out of the group too. I don't know if you guys know that. It's like yeah, you guys got out too. So I don't think it's an end of an era for Uruguay because Uruguay is one of those nations that always brings in new talent and new players. Like they'll have a 26-year-old that'll come out of nowhere, and you're like, holy shit, this guy's really good.
Yeah, we're just
And I
talking
think
about those players,
Yeah,
not
they have
Uruguay as a
those
nation.
players in that squad. I think that what messed up with for them was they have a lot of new players to the World Cup that haven't been at the World Cup or haven't been in a big tournament. Darwin Nunes, for example, is like his first major tournament. Like it's like you see those type of players, and then you have the older players that it's time for them to leave. Like you said, Godin, Muslera's not even a starter anymore. Cavani and Suarez are coming off the bench, which they
The
could
fact
still
that he
give you
also
something.
used Maxi Gomez, which hasn't been playing well in the Liga, tells you something about how deficient they are in offensive.
Yeah.
But they do have really good youngsters. Facundo Palestri, who plays for Manchester United, the right mid. He's really good. They have De Suarez, who is a very short, kind of like a Kante center mid, because he's very short, but he tackles hard. But I love this Uruguay team. I think they still have talent in there, and it's a nation that has won the World Cup. So those type of nations like Brazil and Italy, they always bring new talent. It's just how well they're gonna mesh together. That's the problem. But sad to see Uruguay and Ghana go.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like to your point of there's a lot of young players playing their first tournament, but I feel like that's down to the manager of how he incorporates those young players to the team. Um, I feel like he tried to bring like some of the experienced veterans to help them out, but when they're coming off the bench and they're not really performing at the level that they should to help these other younger players to you know kind of lead them by example of say, hey, follow me. This is the way you do it on the field. It's kind of hard, but yeah, Luis Suarez had a pretty good game. His shot came off the goalkeeper, and uh, that's what upgraded the header, and then he gave that assist for the second goal. But yeah, really shame to see them out, especially with how you say the talent that they have in that squad. On to the next group, Group G. Serbia, Switzerland, a 3-2 win for Switzerland. Um, Man, was this a goal fest? These teams did not care about defending. They were just trying to go out there and win. You know, they totally forgot about defend. But
You know, it's funny.
this is what these third games do to you. You just try to go for it and try to get that win. Um, we were talking about how Serbia was kind of struggling to get all their attacking talent to be on the same pitch in an efficient way for to get the best out of all of them. And um, Mitrovic and Vlahovic scored for Serbia, but uh, those that early second half goal for Switzerland kind of sealed the deal, and they did what they had to do to get that win at the end. Defended really well for the second half, and they're on to the next round. Um, Junior, what do you think about this Serbia Switzerland game?
I don't know if you guys have seen this too, but like, does it seem like the first half, like especially if there's like two teams that are all attacking like back and forth, they get tired by the second half, and the
Yeah,
second half is more mellow.
yeah,
like, like I don't know, because people have been complaining. Like this is like another issue. Like, it's not football wise, but they were complaining about the air conditioning in these games.
hmm,
Like apparently, the air conditioning has been really bad at the stadiums. So I don't know if like played into this. But yeah, that first half was kind of crazy the way they were going back and forth, um, and really good goals by both teams. And I
yeah,
thought it was going to be the defending that was going to like, and at the end of the day, going to be like what like the deciding factor. And the fact that they let in 5 goals, that was kind of crazy. I thought
yeah,
it was going to be something more like a 1-0 or a 2-1. Yeah, it was an exciting game. And it was like back and forth, and it was very hard tackled. All these 4 games were very a lot of tackles and a lot of yellows. So that
hmm,
was kind of interesting to see at the last game they were all going for it because some teams it was dire, you know.
yeah. Jordan, your thoughts on this game?
Serbia, like I said about Uruguay, you see how much time it takes for the teams to actually clash together, and it took Serbia into a third game to play one of their best games. Their strikers finally scored their two main threats, and it just shows that these tournaments are hard whenever it's just 3 games and you have to you're out instantly. So they really has to put an emphasis on hitting the mark as soon as you start this tournament, like Spain did, securing that first win. Because even if you have 2 draws in the first 2 games, you're still not in it in the last game. You still have to compete for that one. So it's just, I think this World Cup has showed an emphasis on hitting it running with the win, and then focus defensively on the other games. Like if they played this game for the first game and it was a 3-2 for, let's say Serbia wins this game 2-3 or 2-1, like there's a completely different tournament for them. And I think a lot of teams started off more defensive and now are trying to like, oh, we got to go more aggressive. But it sometimes doesn't work. You saw that with Mexico. They were very trying to go very attacking against Poland because they thought they would get points there, and Poland held them off. And then they were like, "Oh, Argentina's harder. Let's go defensive," and then it cost them. So you're seeing how these tactics are kind of meshing. Everybody, they're like Junior said. Sometimes they come in at the first half, attack, attack, attack. Then they're like, "Oh, we gotta chill. We're too tired already." Well, it's not like tired, but it's just like the tactics. You have to switch them because you can't just go 90 minutes just pressing. That's what caused the big teams that do that a lot, like Liverpool. But a very exciting game. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it was how you said, a very exciting game, a back and forth game with these guys. Um, and then on to the last game, Cameroon Brazil, 1-0 Cameroon win. Unfortunately, unable to get not enough to get through the next round. Brazil group leaders and Switzerland second of the group advanced to the knockout stage. Another side that rotated heavily, tried to give some of their star players some rest. Alex Diaz had to be subbed off. Marquinhos came in to play that role as the left back. Dani Alves had it start his for this World Cup. Um, Bremer started as well. Rodrigo Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and yeah, Cameroon did just enough to get that win. I think they were really happy with their performance and able to get a point from this Brazil side, even though it was heavily rotated as I mentioned. But um, yeah, just one of those games where you say this is just a blimp, and if this was their starting team, it'd probably be a different version. But you always look for these managers look for these games to try to see what players can actually bring me something off the bench and what they can do. I feel Martinelli had a couple of chances where he really showed what he brings to the table. Bruno Guimaraes had a couple of chances where he could have got the winning goal for Brazil. He could have had a three goals, I believe, in this sense that, but just missing his opportunities. But Jordan, what did you think about this game?
In all honesty, I didn't watch this game. I didn't catch this game. But you see the 1-0 scoreline and you think, oh, what the hell, Brazil? What are you doing? But as you said, as you're just explaining right now, they did rotate their squad, so you kind of understand. But either way, you're like, you shouldn't lose. You should have competed still with your squad rotating. And Martinelli, you love to see an Arsenal player doing good. Well, I do. But yeah, just play those players because we've heard who's the Italian coach when they won the Euros? What's his name? Mancini, right?
Yeah, Roberto Mancini.
How he put in Sirigu to play in one of the games that didn't matter because it is a big deal for these players that don't really get playing times to get squad rotated in because it makes you feel part of the team.
Yep.
And it gives you a memory from that World Cup. Like Kaká won the World Cup in 2002, but no one talks about it because he just came in for like 2 or 3 games and didn't really have that much playing time. But it's a big deal for these players because it does etch you in the stone of those teams, and it makes you be like part of that group that won it. Even if people are like, "Oh, he didn't do that much," but he was still in the practices. He helped them prepare, so it's cool to see this rotating. But yeah, hopefully Brazil, this is a wake up call for them. But I don't think so because it is a rotating team.
Yeah, it was kind of not to say meaningless, but they didn't. They kind of secured their spot. Didn't pose much threat to them.
Yeah.
I was expected. one of the few teams that actually did what they were supposed to.
Right. All right. With that, kind of summarizes the group stages. We'll go on to the knockout six, the round of 16 of what the teams will be facing. We already talked about the Netherlands, USA, Argentina, Australia, England, Senegal, and France, Poland. So we'll be trying to focus our on the other four matches that'll be going on, and we'll go from our brackets. Um, we'll go build our brackets, but I'm gonna start first, and I'm just gonna quickly go over the four games. Um, Japan, Croatia. I feel like that's gonna be a tight game, and I think at the end of that game, it's gonna come to the individual players, and so for that reason, I'm gonna go with Croatia win for that game. Um, just feel like uh, these two teams play are playing really good collectively as a team. They play really good football, but I just feel like the individuality of Croatia just just slightly gets the better of Japan in this game. Brazil, South Korea. That's another game where you know it's gonna Brazil with the free flowing attack, and South Korea are just gonna try to get them on a counter attack with what we've seen with Portugal. Um, I don't know if it's gonna be enough. There's still a doubt of for Neymar if Neymar's gonna be back for this game. All signs look that he will be. At what percentage would he be back? That's another question. But um, I just feel with the strongest lineup that Brazil can put out, it should be enough to beat this Korean team. Um, the Morocco Spain. I just feel Spain right now is playing some of the best possession based football in this tournament right now. Really good with the ball. Um, I feel like it won't be enough for this Moroccan side to stop this Spanish team. Um, you got that midfielder of that midfield Pedri and Gavi, and you just wonder if there'll be this game where Pedri can actually take control of the game and just turn it on its side. And then the last game of Portugal Switzerland. I feel like Portugal is gonna get this win. Switzerland, we've seen that it was ups and turbly. Some deep defensive plays, but some in the moments where it mattered, that they kind of fell off. But I feel like this Portugal side has enough talent to beat this Switzerland team. Uh, I'll go with Jordan. You first. You can give us your prediction for those four games.
For Japan versus Croatia, Croatia proved me wrong in the group stage. I thought they were done, and I'm gonna go with them because I think they have more to prove than Japan. Because Croatia, if we remember, they lost in the final 4-2 match against France, who supposedly had a good defense. You got two on them. So I just hope I'm hoping Croatia beats Japan, even though Japan does have an Arsenal player that I do love, Tomiyasu. But I just see Croatia getting through that. Then there's Brazil, South Korea, right?
Yes.
I think Brazil might lose this one, and I'm just going off the fact that Brazil hasn't really done anything defensively. They have Casemiro, they have Marquinhos, but they don't really do that much. They seem like they're relying more on the offense. They barely sneak out wins. So I just feel like South Korea might. I think Brazil might see South Korea like, it's just another team. We could just score one goal late and win. And I think South Korea is gonna knock them out. And then for Morocco versus Spain, I'm gonna go with Spain because I just feel that Morocco, although they do have some good pieces, Spain has a whole 11 that are good. They have way better players, and I'm just going off the players and the manager of Luis Enrique just taking them past us. And these are pretty much hot take. This is my last hot take, but I feel Switzerland might beat Portugal, and I think it's gonna cost them, like you said, how they play with two strikers instead of having Liao there. I think that's gonna cost them in the end because I think it's a bad formation that they play with. I think it would be way better to play a 4-3-3 with the center attacking mid in the midfield with Bruno Fernandes and give Liao and João Felix let them dominate the wings for Ronaldo to be the target man. And it's more of a homer pick for the Switzerland because of Chaka and like I said, they did beat France in the Euros, and people forget that. Like they showed that France didn't have a good defense that tournament, and they still have those pieces in their lineup. And I feel it's a big deal, like Spain was when they won the Euro and they went to the World Cup. They kept a bunch of those pieces in that team, so I think that helps you kind of create some chemistry with your team. And there's a lot of new faces in that Portugal team, which, yeah, honestly, you could see either of these games going either way. Probably the one that I see the most clearly going through is the Spain one. I'm pretty sure we all feel this, that they could go either way, but I think the Spain versus Morocco is probably the most one that people would have favored Spain over every other matchup. Maybe the Brazil one, but I just don't see it.
Junior, your predictions for those 4 games? You're muted.
I was like, I think I'm the only one that has Japan going over Croatia. Croatia hasn't really necessarily impressed me. They just kind of been kind of stable as a team. They had a lot of chances that last match. I think I said they just couldn't finish. I don't know if that will haunt them for this game. I think Japan is very. I think they're hyped. They're really hyped for especially their last win. Beat 2 world champions. I think that's gonna do a number on them, and I think I hope they don't go like too over energized and then they give up the game real fast. So my hoping is that they actually get it together and they actually go one up on Croatia. So I'm picking Japan over Croatia on that one, and then Brazil, South Korea. I don't see much. I don't think South Korea will pose that much threat even without Neymar. I still think it's a very good side. So I have Brazil going over South Korea. And then Morocco, Spain. That one's Spain have been struggling on counters, and especially if they get, especially who are the line that they play. If Morocco with Hakimi and Ziyech, they're turned on, that might be a positive problem. But I want Spain to win for obvious reasons. Yeah, Portugal, Switzerland. I think Switzerland will pose a little bit of problem for Portugal, but I think Portugal will ultimately win it. They have too much talent for them to squander having an easy Switzerland from all the rest of the teams they could have faced. I think Switzerland's a very possible rival for them to beat.
Alrighty.
And
So
I end my turn.
dumb.
Send you to
Alright,
the
so
shadow.
real quick, I'm gonna give my bracket, and then if you guys remember your picks for the four
Yeah.
games we talked about earlier, last episode, you guys can give it from there. So Netherlands versus Argentina. I see.
Netherlands versus US.
Well, I already gave. That's why I said Netherlands, because I gave my prediction that Netherlands was gonna win.
Oh, so you're
Yeah,
saying
he's
like
saying the
after?
next stage.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
like
doing the next
oh,
stage already. Yeah, I'm doing
oh.
my bracket. So, Netherlands
Just
are
gonna let me listen.
Netherlands are versus Argentina. I feel like Argentina's gonna get the win on that game. Um, Croatia, Brazil. I think Brazil is gonna win that game. Argentina versus Brazil. I feel like Argentina's gonna get to the World Cup final. England, England, France. I feel like France is gonna win there. Spain, Portugal. I feel like Portugal's gonna win, and then Portugal France. I want Portugal to win, and that gives me my Argentina versus Portugal final that I want to see. I'll go with you first, Junior.
I'm trying to figure them out. So I have the U.S. beating the Netherlands, so it'll be U.S. and then Argentina beating Australia, so it'll be U.S. against Argentina, and then obviously Argentina. I feel like the U.S. won't have enough to beat an Argentina side. Not right now. Next World Cup maybe. And then I have Japan beating Croatia and Brazil beating South Korea. So Japan, Brazil, and I have Brazil going through. And then it's France, Poland. I have France going through, and then in England, Senegal. Oh, that's the one I missed.
What the heck, dude?
I have England going through. So it'll be England, France, and I think France is better than England. And then
Whoa.
Morocco, Spain. I have Spain going through. And Portugal, Switzerland. I have Portugal going through, and I have Spain going through. And then Argentina, Brazil. I'll go with Argentina. And then France, Spain. I'll go France. And it'll give me my predicted final of Argentina, France, and then Argentina to win it all.
Spoilers, dude.
I mean, it's not spoilers if it happen.
Yeah. All right, Jordan, your turn.
So USA, Netherlands. I got USA winning. Ah, I believe that. So tough. I think they'll win, and then I have Argentina beating Australia, so they'll go against each other. Croatia versus South Korea will be the next game. England versus France, and Spain versus Switzerland. I have the USA losing against Argentina, and I have Croatia beating Korea. I have England and France in a tight game. This was the one that I'm like, I can see it go either way, because France kind of struggles defensively against big teams.
Well, they'll score you.
They might outscore you, but they do let you have 3 goals. They're like, we'll give you 3 goals, but we'll try to score 4.
The other team has Harry Maguire.
Who's been playing pretty good. But I pick France. And then I have Spain versus Switzerland, and I have Spain going through. Then I have Argentina versus Croatia, and I have Argentina going through. And I have France versus Spain. This is what I thought right now as I'm doing it. I'm like, Spain's going to beat France. There's no way. France, even though they have Mbappe, I feel like Luis Enrique might have the perfect plan against them. And I'm thinking it's going to be an Argentina versus Spain. And it's going to be that argument that Argentinian fans were like, we hate Spain because Messi's going to pick them to go to the World Cup with them. And I feel like this might give Argentina the Messi's goodbye, I guess you could say. But I have Spain winning. I don't have Argentina winning. I have Argentina losing in the final again.
Against Spain?
Yeah.
Oof.
This is just going off the top of my head right now.
Whoa. On top of your
And
feet.
let's be honest, after the couple of group stage games, we have to change it. After these next knockout stages, we're gonna have to change it.
Yeah,
But I'm just joking. I feel Argentina is gonna win. It's written. I don't know if you see that video. They were in Argentina news, and this guy put up a stat that the last 3 times in the last third game, Maradona missed a penalty, and Mario Kempes missed a penalty in the third group stage game, and then Messi missed a penalty in this last group, and all of them won it. And that's a weird coincidence that happened 3 times.
well, also that anytime Argentina beats Mexico, they win the World Cup.
So there's like these weird coincidences that you're like, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. I hope Portugal and Argentina have a good showing, but this is what I think right now. It's just an opinion, like all of us, right?
Well, yeah, obviously it's
I mean,
just
it's
an opinion.
ideal if for FIFA if that's if that's the final. I don't think we'll see a better final in the years
Yeah, yeah.
unless it's
You just
Mbappe against Alan.
right. You just feel of like what these what these two guys have meant for football for over a decade. You know, it's been them two at the top, and everybody just, you know, they always say that these two players that just play on a different level, that they're a different level from everybody else. And I mean,
Well, we say
as a
that, but Zlatan would be like, "Well, I'm on that level." Like, dude, shut up. You're
well,
not at
yeah,
that level, dude.
I would just feel like as a football fan, I think what better way to for them to say goodbye to the World Cup tournament than facing each other. That's just me trying to, you know, as a football fan, trying to see two of the best players that I've watched, you know, in my lifetime. Try to see them one more time play against each other. You know, you go back to those El Clásicos, you know, that famous Clásico where Messi lifts his shirt in the Bernabeu. I mean, you know, it doesn't get better than that, you know, as a football fan. But all right, Jordan, anything else you want to add before we close the show today?
Like you're saying about seeing Messi and Ronaldo at the final, it's like sometimes we miss these moments. Sometimes they never happen because the past World Cups, we've seen Messi do his job and then Ronaldo goes short or Portugal goes short. Or Portugal's doing good, Argentina's doing good, and then they both get knocked out before. And it's happened in the Champions League too, where they've never met in a final either. So it's just sometimes you don't get these moments, and I feel like this might be one of those another tournament where we're hoping to see them both in the final, but one of them is gonna mess it up, and hopefully they get to the final, but we don't always get what we want in football.
Yeah. Junior, anything else you want to add?
No, that's just exciting. Um, I already wanted tomorrow to happen so I could watch that
Oh, it
USA
will.
get a win.
Well, tomorrow
And
will
that
happen.
yeah, tomorrow the
Oh,
Netherlands and
already
USA
happened.
play, and then Argentina and Australia.
Never say
I just wish tomorrow woke up. I just hope tomorrow
World
woke up.
Cup sooner. It would happen today. Um,
Yeah, I'm just excited for those semifinal meetings because those are gonna be some really big games, especially with the big teams that are on there. You know, wonder if
I mean,
any.
there's bound to be an upset.
Yeah, yeah, and then
And it's
I forgot
USA.
to iterate that this is the first time that three Asian countries have made it out of the to the knockout stage. So, you know, you just see the progression of football. You know, as a collectively.
Yeah, and two African countries in there as well. Senegal, Morocco.
Hmm.
Hey, well,
Morocco being
CONCACAF.
surprise. Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
Uh,
be honest. USA owns the CONCACAF now.
yeah, it feels like they do. Alrighty, well, with that, that concludes our latest episode of Dummy Football. Um, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting and liking, even though I feel like I'm the only one doing that. But please keep subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, so you can keep up with when we post our latest episode. Um, from Jordan Jr. and I, this has been Dummy Football. Thank you for watching.